So, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to talk about karma. Well, many people say that karma is a ritual. And actually, we say this phrase a little bit different, but that's not the main point here today, because we have polite conference and very important issues to discuss, but just wait, okay? So, the question here is, does karma actually exist? And of course, some of you will answer that it doesn't, because, I know, he doesn't believe in this, but come on. Just remember, the last time, for example, when you broke something by accident, or someone, for example, succeeded, a person, for example, that you don't hate or don't like, and of course you said such phrases as, karma is gonna catch you, or for example, I just have a bad karma today, I'm so lucky person, I'm pro at living, right? But that's not the main point here. And also, there are some cases like this. So actually, what about karma today is that it's the Sanskrit word, speaking about culture. And it's a core concept in some religions, for example, in Hinduism and Buddhism. And the concept is simple. It's like that you have a person, and you, for example, have some action. So a person takes some action, and it actually, it refers to the whole, for example, future time. So it's the cycle of cause and effect. This is karma in Asian cultures. But what we have in Western one is completely opposite. We misuse this conception just like this. So, I'm going to repeat my question today. Do you believe in karma? Please raise your hands if yes. Sure. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So, today, I'm going to tell you 3 stories. They all happened at different time. They all have different characters, but they have something in common. All these stories prove, actually, that karma exists. So let's begin. Imagine, America, 1980s. So you, for example, a young author whose hero burns books, and you want to print your novel. But unfortunately, you have been rejected by all editors and all publishers in the United States, except one. This is actually hard to guess, so I'll just give you an answer. It's a book called Fahrenheit 451 by Red Bradbury. And the editor, okay, his name is Hugh Hefner. Probably you know him as the main editor of what? Exactly, this amazing journal. And the story is that actually this book firstly was printed in this journal. And Hugh Hefner spent his last $400 to print this book in his journal. And the interesting fact here is that at the opening ceremony of Playboy's new office, Hugh Hefner just shook Bradbury's hand and said, "Thank you for being there." So before my speech will go out of hand, I'm not talking about Playboy further, we'll just move to another story. It's a marvelous one, you'll like it. So this is Mauricio from the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo. Spoiler, he's a robber. Another spoiler, he's going to rob a pharmacy. Just have a look. So, you see here a car. And actually a car in Mauricio is driving. Yeah, Spanish subtitles because it's Spanish channel. So, he's parking his car near the pharmacy which is going to rob. And now an amazing thing happens. Just have a look. You can see that another robber stole his car. Just like this. But then, poor Mauricio went out to the pharmacy trying to figure out what had happened, when another amazing thing happened. Just look. Another thief stole his bag of stolen money. So, yeah, the thing here is that then Mauricio came to the police, and then the owner of the pharmacy identified him immediately. And then he got arrested. And in his interview, Mauricio said one brilliant phrase. He said that we live in such a violent world that if you're going to, for example, rob something, even a pharmacy, you return home even poorer than you were. So, yeah, this man is a long-living legend. But now, just move to our final, third story. So, once upon a time, one homeless guy, Billy Harris, just collected donations on the square in Kansas City. Just simple like that. Simple, man. Simple story. But then he felt something really heavy. So, for example, you just looked at this really heavy, like, what is this? So he tried to figure out what was that. And Billy Harris figured out that it was an engagement ring with a very large stone. And of course, what the first thought that came to mind of a person who collecting donations? Of course, to sell it. And actually, he refused to do this, despite the fact that the jewelry offered him $4,000 for this one ring. He just kept it, in case, for example, the owner comes back. And actually, a woman, Sarah, 2 days later, came back for this ring. And she said she might have dropped something valuable in his charity bin. And he asked, was it a ring? And she said, yes. And he just returned it. Simple as that. But then, an amazing thing happened. Sarah and her husband tried to donate and create a huge international fund to raise money. And actually they collected $185,000. So this story became so widely popular that even his sister, her name was I suppose some Robin Williams, recognized her brother on the television. And now Mauricio has family. He has a nice amount of money in his bank account. He has happiness, everything. So, you know what? We live in a very strange world right now. Because even, for example, if you don't return something, or if you return it, some properties or assets that actually don't belong to you, you can get in return a lot more than you actually heritage. Karma has Eastern origins, and that's why I decided to talk about this with you today at this conference. And I'm talking about this from the point of Western spectator, because we have right now two fundamental cultures, two fundamental parts of the world, Eastern and Western one. But actually, all our speakers at our conferences have only 8 minutes. And my time has already passed, but there is something more I want to talk, and should just to give a brief. Before I go out through the station, you will gasp like, finally. Actually, just have a look. At the beginning of my speech, I told you that all these stories, they prove that karma exists. But was it actually a karma that led to such consequences? Have a look. This is our home, as you all know. At least there are no aliens in our home today, so it's quite big and almost enough for everyone. There are 8 other planets in our solar system and 100,000 stars alone in our Milky Way. And upon to this, there are millions upon millions upon millions other galaxies. And we are so negligible in this world. I mean, we, people who blame karma in everything that happens to us. But do you know who is capable here? This person is me. And you, and actually all of you sitting right here, because we are the creators of everything that happens to us. I want to tell you something. Be brave to express yourself. Be emotional. Just prove that your ideas are worth spreading, and you can tell something valuable to other people. So, thank you for your attention and good luck.